Okay, I'm going to continue talking about the command line. So F1, so line rep, so there's 40,000 lines in Atom, 20,000 in the compiler, and 25,000 in the kernel. There's only two bin files. There's kernel.bin and compiler.bin. Those are the only files that are, that's the only code compiled ahead of time. The Atom directory is compiled during boot. So let's see what else we have here. So link check, that checks for broken links. Man is I never use that. The only place it's really useful is in the debugger. Let's suppose you hit dbg and then man. It's the same command line. It's the same. It's just the window man is not running, and interrupts are turned off, and I think they are. Yeah, they should be. Yeah. Man, let's look for, how about dir? So now we're editing. So Shift Escape, and let's see if we can recover. G2. Okay. So the debugger is really hard to use, but in theory you can use it. So what you use instead of man is let's see, Alt A. So if I say dir here, then it appears in the autocomplete. So I do Control Shift F3, or you can click on dir. If you, I like keyboard anyway. So map drive. You can rearrange the drive letters. I don't really recommend doing that. Well, I mean, you can. Memory report. Merge is for merging source code. It's pretty crude. But it does check for differences in graphics that you don't get with. Well, anyway. Make directory. Did you know there's a here's a little tip. The cd command will make directories if you pass another parameter true. So in other words, you can change to a directory and create it if it doesn't exist. New files. Oh, that's silly. That checks for files after a certain date. Now we can study this as an example of how you do scripting. In Linux, you go crazy with pipes. In TempleOS, let me explain this. This is a good example. Okay, so how do we use this? Well, okay. So you give a file mask. This is basically a directory mask, or directory, a base directory, and file mask. Anyway, so this is root directory star. That's the default. This is a date. It's asking for an integer date. So the way you would use this would be a to date. Why isn't it showing up? Oh no, wait a minute, what is it? Oh. Oh, string to date. Okay, it used to be. Never mind. String to date